What is up, whammin' and gentle whammin'? It has been forever and a day since I came at you guys with a deck profile and anything Yu-Gi-Oh related. I apologize for the lack of content, period.com, because, well, depression sucks. But I'm not going to get too deep into personal stuff, but I'm going to try to be better and start getting back into content. I've recently gotten back into competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Took a good bit of a break, as you guys could tell. I've just been streaming mostly when I was streaming, but I've been taking a couple weeks off. But I've been started playing competitively again, and I went to my first regional since I've been back and finished 45th. Sadly, not top 32, but like I still did really well for my first event back. Well, my first real event back. It's my second regionals back. The first one I went to, I trolled around with Thunder Dragon Link and did really bad. This weekend I went X3, sadly went X3. I lost in the last round because I threw really bad. I played against a really good friend, well, I wouldn't say a really good friend of mine, but a friend of mine in the Yu-Gi-Oh scene, Dalton Oaks. He's a really good guy. I threw game 3 really bad against him, but I'll get into the details of that later. But let's just go ahead and jump into the profile. As you can see, I played Spright. I feel like it's pretty standard stuff. So like we got the 3 blue, 3 jet, 1 red, 1 carrot, 1 pixies. I feel like this is just like the standard lineup for the sprites. Like there's not a lot of play with this really. Some people are on the fence about pixies, but like that card's just insane. I was the first person I feel like that was on pixies, and it's just crazy. The card's insane. Up next, we played 3 swap because I like summoning swap in the standby phase off Toad. That way red has something free to tribute. We got 3 beaver and 2 angler. So I played this nimble ratio. I saw Joshua Schmidt's list where he plays 3 anglers and then the 3 sunfish. That's a really spicy list. I don't have the sunfish. I'm not going to pay $20 a pop for them, so we're not doing that. But like this is still really consistent and still really good. I was very happy with this. I resolved pitch angler for swap twice that weekend, and it felt really good. It was really nice to play a consistent deck again instead of just memeing around with Thunder Dragons, which is what I've been doing while I've played. Next, since it's tier format, you have to play the Bestials. So we got 3 Pizza Hut, 2 Lewis, and a Sarnier. I felt like 6 was enough. Like, with the shufflers, like, these don't do as much in the tier matchup because they're just going to shuffle it back. It just forces them to use a shuffler preemptively. So I didn't want to draw multiple Bestials, but there were a couple occasions where I did, which is fine. But if I did draw a Bestial, I wanted it to be like Pizza Hut and then one of these. I didn't want it to be like 2 Druis or a Druis and a Sarnier. I wanted it to be different names, like a Pizza Hut and a Druis, a Pizza Hut and a Sarnier, Druis and a Sarnier, or just not 2 of the same name, you know. So that's why I cut Lewis down to 1, and it didn't really make a big difference. Yeah, I really didn't feel a downside to that. I was very happy with that. And then I played 3 Ash to round out my monster count. This card is just clutch all day for pretty much everything but the tier matchup. Ash is just insane. Like even against tier, it does stuff. On to spells, I played 3 starter because it's starter. This card's broken. We played 3 prosperity because again it's prosperity. This card's broken. Digging deeper into the deck is always good. This is a really good Ash bait because you always do this first, and it puts them in a position to where it's like, okay, are you going to Ash this? If you do, you kind of waste your Ash. So like it's always free, especially if you only do 3 and you're not digging for something. But so most of the time people won't Ash it. So even when the times you are digging for something, it's pretty much a safe play. I played Triple Talents. This card's freaking insane right now. It won me multiple games. I don't know, like this card was just insane for me all day. We played 1 Smashers, 1 Mind Control, and 1 Change of Heart. These cards are just like 2 more copies of Talents, because like I don't think all day, every time I resolved Talents, it was to do this effect. It was never to draw a card, never look at my opponent's hand. I was always, every time I resolved talents, I was taking something. Every single time I took something. These cards are just insane. I'd leave these in going first because most of the time, like, people will bestial you. Tier plays on your turn, so, like, these cards are just insane. And then finally, to round out the traps, we played 3 Imperm because it's Imperm. This card's crazy. And then Double Cross. This card is absolutely insane. I don't see... Maybe I'm blind, but I don't see a lot of people manning Double Cross anymore. But this card's just, like, insane. It does so much. People don't... Like, every time I search this off Jet going first, they, like, pick it up and read it. Like, what the fuck is this? I would side it out in majority of the matchups going second. I will side this out, but, like, any other time, like, you're going first, you need to be playing this card in the main deck. Like, this card is crazy, crazy good. And in the mirror match, I always search this because, like, if you're going first and you search this and they start to establish, you can always steal, like, an elf or a gigantic or just steal something and then use it on your turn. It's just insane. Moving on to the extra deck, we got tokens in the field center, but we play 1 Sprint, 2 Elf, 1 Dark, and 1 IP is our Link 2s. This feels pretty standard. This card's insane. This into Avramax, which is the only target for it. This is the only non-Link 2 that I play. This card is insane. Tyr just looks at it and cries. I don't know if they have... I don't think they have a main deck out to this other than, like, I think they're only out to this, like, Dark Ruler. One guy skill drained me to out it, which was really saucy. He was siding in skill drain going first with Tyr, which is really good. But yeah, that I don't see... I haven't seen them out this. I don't know how they do, if they can. 1 Toad, because Toad's broken. 2 Gigantic, because you needed 2. Mosquito, this card's insane. This card's broken. That's the whole reason the Sunfist version is even a deck. This card won me 3 games, just like kill out of nowhere. It's really, really good. 1 Cat Shark, 1 Soul Sweeper, and then Downard into Zeus. And the last card in our extra deck was a Wallow. Every time I went to summon a Wallow, it laid out my bestial. I never got to stick 2 bestials on board, but I was glad I had it in here because we played at locals at the same shop the night before, and this card was just insane. Zeus cost me my final round because I was tunneled into the Zeus play instead of actually just, like... So, like, round 8, it came down to game 3, me versus Dalton. He went first, set up Carrot, Elf, Toad with nothing on field. I mean, no spell and traps, and then 2 in hand. And I went with the Zeus. I went into Onamaru, banished his elf, made Gigantic, swung with both to clear his board. I know, I didn't even make Gigantic yet because I'm that bad. I went Onamaru, swing over. I went Dark Ruler first, make Onamaru, banish the elf so he wouldn't get it back. Swung into Carrot with it, made, I think he chained Toad to the Onamaru to banish the elf, and then added back, I think, Beaver, so I went Onamaru, swing into Carrot, make Zeus, a 4 material Zeus, and then summon Gigantic. I went Gigantic effect, he ashed it, so... That was really rough. I ended up losing that game because of that simple little misplay. It got down to the point to where I ended up Zeusing his board away when he tried to reestablish on the crackback. It passed back to me. I just drew Smashers. And it was it from there. If I would have drawn any other level 2, I would have been fine. But I chalked that up to my fault. 100% my fault because I could have just went normal Spright line after I Dark Rulered. If I'd have just went normal Spright line, we would have been fine. But onto the side deck, we'll get more into the tournament report in a minute. 1 Red Res, this card's insane. Won me round 6 on it. Yeah, round 6 is the only time it came up. I side this in anytime I'm going into game 3 and there's less than 15 minutes on the clock, I side this in. That's what happened round 6. I sided this in with like 14 minutes left on the clock. I went first, didn't summon it, but like did normal Spright stuff, and then the tier player went and did their turn, and right before they were getting ready to pass back to me, they made Baguska in defense. So then he passed to me with like a minute 20 on the clock. Start my turn, bait out a monster bait out a bestial, and then talents take the Baguska, switch it to attack, use elf, not elf, but make a gigantic, summon this, win the game. Dogwood, I needed one more card and just threw this in there because I thought it was funny. I will not do that in the future. I sided it in, never saw it. This was a meme. This needs to be Feather Duster. And then we played 3 Shifter for the tier matchup. I sided this in going second every time I played tier, which was, I think I played 3. Yeah, I played 3 tiers, so I sided this in going second every time and never saw it. So I don't know how good this is, but in correlation with the Shifter, you have to play Gamma Burst. So going second, I would side out the double cross, side into Gamma Burst, side out to like Ashes, or I think I sided out the Prosperities, or like I'd side out a Prosperity, a Talents, and something else, just like to make it to where I could see this, and I never did. Continuing with the spells, I decided to play 3 Regeki for birds, pretty much. It also clears the tier board. You wipe the board, they summon everything back, and then you play into it after you've already wiped it once. This card's insane. 3 Dark Roller for the mirror match, and then 3 evenly for the mirror and everything. Like, these are the most sided in cards all day. I sided in Shifters going second, and then Gamma Bursts. But yeah, these were the 2 real MVPs. Also in my final round against Dalton, he smoked me game 1. So we sided. I fucking was like, you know what? He's my boy. I don't care. I'm going to try to do something wild and just try to catch him off guard. So I sided in on my going second shit and made him go first again, which is weird in the Spright mirror. You don't normally do that. You try to go first and just win. But I did it. He went first, set up his board. It wasn't like the crazy board, and I opened double evenly. So I forget what all he had, but his board wasn't like super insane. So I just like double evenly'd him and then just won the game from there. But yeah, that was the deck. It was really consistent. It was a lot of fun. I never had any troubles out of the deck. I did not miss the Djinn Buster. I know a lot of people are on it. I just went, anytime I opened the plays where I could overextend into a Djinn Buster, I just made IP into Avermax, and that was also just enough. Like, Avermax is a house of a card to out. But for tournament report, round 1 I played tier. I won that 2-1. That was the guy that sided in the skill drains, which was great for him. Round 2 was the mirror match. I lost the mirror match game 3 again because I misplayed, because I tunneled into the Zeus line, which I thought I learned my lesson there to stop tunneling and just do normal Spright combo, which is what I did the rest of the day. So round 3 I played, I did not write it down, but I won 2-1. Oh, round 3 I played VW, and I won 2-1. I got deck checked and got told that my sleeves were crusty and needed to change my sleeves. Round 4 I played Flow, won 2-0. That matchup's pretty easy for Spright. Round 5 I played Tier, lost that 0-2. My man's just open godly. There was nothing I could have done about that. Round 6 I played Tier. I won that 2-1. That was the interaction where I baited out a Bestial with an elf effect targeting a blue. He went Bestial. I went Talents, take the Baguska, switch Baguska to attack. Linked elf and Baguska off into a sprint effect, dump, and then just went crazy from there. Round 7, I played Plunder Patrol round 7, which was wild. I won that matchup 2-0, Mosquitoes broken, and then round 8 was my loss to Dalton because I kind of threw. Well, I didn't kind of throw. I definitely threw. I should have won that. I definitely had the hand to win it. I definitely should have won that 2-1. I should have won that game 3. I threw so hard, man. I've been kicking myself about that one really Really bad. I see my mistake. I know where I messed up, but like that shit's been living rent free in my head, man. I opened Dark Ruler, Double Swap Frog, Red Res, Red, and then something, and then I drew something else for turn. I'm trying to think of what my draw was. Yeah, I can't remember what my draw was, but I ended up going Dark Ruler, Pit Swap for swap, special swap, no swap effect. He toaded that's, I think, did he toad that? No, I went normal. Oh, it was Nimble Angler. I went normal Angler. No, it wasn't Angler because I would have pitched Angler. No. I definitely normal summoned the red. Oh, it was Jet. It was Jet. Okay. So I drew Jet for turn. So I go Pit Swap, Summon Swap, normal Red Res, no effects, special Jet effect. He goes Toad, add back Beaver, Jet Search, Double Cross, special Red. Then I make, for some ungodly reason, I made Onamaru and then banish the elf, man. I keep kicking myself about that. Like, I just threw so hard, man. Because he already toaded at that point. I should have just made, fuck, what's his name? I should have just made Sprint. Should have just went Jet in Red Res into Sprint. Sprint effect send Angler summon 2 Beavers. Beaver and Sprint go into Gigantic. Activate Gigantic. He ashes the Gigantic there. And then go Jet and, well, yeah, he could ash the Gigantic there, and then I would have had the red tribute the Swap Frog to negate. Gigantic would resolve, summoning blue. Blue would search for anybody. Yeah, blue could search for literally anybody. I wouldn't. You wouldn't tribute swap. You'd tribute the Beaver. I forget that the Beaver's there. So you tribute the Beaver, and then Gigantic summon blue. Blue search probably Carrot, and then Gigantic and Carrot goes into Elf. Elf bring back swap. Make Toad. Go to battle, Toad swing over, Elf. Then I have Red, Toad, Elf for the following turn. Yeah, so that was really big punch right there. I'm kicking myself really hard about that because that would have answered the Elf in, or the, I would know he had a Beaver in hand. He had known Beaver in hand, top decking a card. I forget what he top decked, to be honest. And then just the elf or the Carrot on board, which he could go normal Beaver. I'd be able to negate with Toad, take the Beaver, Toad effect, add back my own Beaver, Elf bring out Toad immediately because he would have still had the Carrot on board. So then I would have had the Toad for the other card that he drew. Oh, it was Imperm. It was Imperm that he drew for. No, it wasn't Imperm. It was Imperm the next turn after that because we went for a couple turns after I made that mistake, and I couldn't kill him. But yeah, the game was wild. I threw really bad because I would have been able to negate both cards out of his hand with Toad, and he would have just been left with a Carrot, and I'd have been able to kill him on the crackback. I threw that so hard. I should have got 25th place, but not playing for 3 months really gets you, and being a bad player really gets you sometimes. But I saw my mistake, and hopefully I can get my head out of the dumps enough to think for Richmond regionals. I'm gonna make a couple changes to the deck. Nothing crazy. Like probably just like Dogwood become a Duster, and then I think that's about it. Like I was really happy with the extra deck. The extra deck was fine. The main deck was fan-freaking-tastic. I loved it played so well. But yeah, I'm gonna quit rambling. that's the deck. Let me know what you guys think. If you got any tips for me, leave them down in the comment section below. And I will see you guys all next time I decide to upload a video.